What server? Alright, see you guys there. I'm gonna stream it. By the way, your number 2 server has a green overlay for Vlandia. I don't see it. Yeah. You might want to go for number 3 because 2 has that weird color thing for Vlandia. All right, but the green versus green is really weird for Britannia versus Vlandia. All right, everyone. For our first match tonight, we're gonna have 3 matches tonight. So we have first match, Les versus Matt's team. Let's get the rosters pulled up while we're waiting. These teams are not correct yet. Let's correct that in a second. All right, here we go. Super Ego scheduling. I think they're actually going to start with the week 1 matches, or maps, I should say. So my plan, we have 3 matches, and unfortunately they're very closely scheduled. We have match number 1 starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's right now. We have match number 2 starting at 8:30, and then match number 3 starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, part of 2 matches. So my plan is basically watch all of the first match in full, watch number 2 in part, and then start watching number 3 as soon as it's actually started. That way we have 2 complete matches, and number 2 will be kind of a brief snapshot. So let's look at the tournament bracket here. This is actually a draft tournament, so we're talking about, you know, not people bringing in everybody from their own clan, but sort of a pickup tournament where every leader of each team was given a certain amount of gold to spend in an auction format to select their team members. That auction already occurred, obviously. So Team 5, Less is More, we had Lesler de Harless, we had Eileen, one of the best cavalry players in NA right now. No Panda, really strong on infantry. Chunky, really good on... No Panda's great on infantry and, you know, probably could play B tier cav just about. Definitely C tier cav. But this is more of an A division match right now. These are all, again, Les's players. And they're currently joining. So, still listing off the starters for Les. Les himself, who is very solid on cav, very solid on infantry, will be definitely on cavalry though. Eileen I expect to see on cavalry as well. Chunky Monkey is great all around. I don't really see him play Archer much, but I'm sure he probably could. I just don't know. But he's fantastic on infantry, really good on cav as well, but he probably won't be playing cav. Best NA player GTA is very solid on cavalry and great on infantry as well. And last player of the starting roster for Les is Ducky Dreadsword. The substitute players are Albino Jaguar and Imperator. I don't know Imperator that well myself, but I've heard good things. Albino I've seen around. I know he's also great on infantry. So just a very solid lineup for Les, obviously, as you'd expect at the highest division. And then what else? They're saying Ron server. I don't believe that. I think it's a joke comment, hopefully. Anyways, I was number 2. We'll see if that changes. And the opposing team, and this is team number 5, I should say. Team number 5 in the scoreboard. Let's update that. And this is not really, you know, it kind of is the VK team, but it's not really the VK team. I mean, Eileen, I think, is in VK technically. Chunky Monkey, I think, wears tags. I mean, you'll be able to tell by who wears tags what clan that they're actually in, but it's not, you know, uniquely the VK team. I think that Les tried to select players who are mostly from VK, but I don't think other teams will be as uniform in that sense. I mean, I expect to see some VK players on both sides of, you know, other teams as well. I mean, maybe not this first fight versus Matt. There might be some. All right, and then team number 4, Matt's team. This is going to be... Well, I've seen around. Risk, who I know played Warband for years. I haven't followed him that much myself. But again, I assume good things if he's on the roster. Yoshi, I know, basically just won a tournament, the 3v3 tournament hosted by Gondor just on Sunday. Yoshi was among the 3 winning players, so obviously a pretty solid pick for Matt to have. Chowski is a fantastic player all around himself. I think he plays both cavalry and infantry. I'm guessing for their cavalry is definitely going to include Wegnus, who is cavalry player in NA right now. Pretty impressive with the basically landing every bump stab that he tries for. And Glitterball is top tier as an archer, very solid on infantry, which is kind of, you know, required to be a good archer, is being as you just kind of get, you know, focused down and don't do much. So have to be very survivable on your own in a duel to be useful as an archer. Lands his shots, stays alive, knows his positioning, knows his class. So I would not be surprised to see him play archer. We're going to be looking at, see that the scoreboard's not updated currently, so bear with me on that. It's going to be, I think, the week 1 maps and factions. So first one's going to be Akarian, and then Empire versus Sturgia. So you have seen this before if you've been watching all these matches. Bear with me, I'm going to be silent here for a minute as I update the scoreboard. Just for the record, they have not played any matches yet. They're still starting up. They're still warming up right now. All the players are not here yet. And it looks like we'll be potentially moving to BSL 3. I mean, he did leave the server, so I think that is the case. Let's check with him. Hey, Les, are we actually on BSL number 2? Okay, gotcha. Thanks. Alright, Sintra, I'm going to go ahead and enable Discord audio, so you are now invited with that to actually speaking on the stream. But you're welcome to hop on. There you go. Sintra, we're live here, trying to gear up and get the right server joined. They'll be on BSL number 3.
Incredible.
And actually, if you don't mind, you could definitely stream on Discord for the benefit of the one person in the Discord audience, that'd be Thrax.
I would love nothing more. When it pops up, I'll do it.
Makes sense. Alright, so I'm joining number 3 right now, and scoreboard to reflect the teams. Very solid lineups from both teams, obviously. So, I'm excited to see this and from all the players involved here. I mean, Yoshi just got the 3v3. Oh, very solid players across both rosters. So I was expecting them to actually be week 1 maps and factions. There should be Sturgia and Empire. The next map, if I recall correctly, was Town Outskirts with Landia and I believe also Empire. Those were the week 1 maps and factions. So, I expect that we'll probably be getting switched to here pretty soon.
What is the name of the lobby?
It's Skirmish League number 3. Bannerlord Skirmish League number 3. Here we go. Let's see who's going on which side. So we have... Looks like... Why do I not recognize these players? Les's team. Okay, a bunch of random people who I don't recognize. I'm not really sure what to make of that. I didn't actually finish listing off the substitute players for Matthew's team. So that also includes Accelerationist. That's a recent rename from Sugandi's, which, yes, it's a joke. And Gamer Guru himself, Sugan, or Accelerationist, also a great Cav player. And Alkiria, as much, but I think is a solid player on Cav. So they have lots of Cav substitutes, which is interesting since they already have a couple of the best Cav players on the starting lineup for Matthew. So, looks like Bannerlord's team is going to be on Empire first, which will leave Les to be on Sturgia. Obviously, the first round would be favored to Matt's team in that scenario. Currently updating the icons for the teams. Let's update the map name. Alright. So we have VK slowly filtering in their players here. Okay, still the warm-up phase. I'm going to go ahead and enable the warm-up overlay, and maybe this time I'll actually remember to turn that off on the top right-hand side when the match starts. We'll see if that does occur or not. Viewers, take your bets. Sintra, it's you're officially nominated to remind me about that in about 2 minutes here.
About what?
You're nominated to remind me if you want to.
Better remind
Demonicus, I'd be
you
happy to have you
guys.
co-cast. Let's go ahead and invite Demonicus on the stage.
I'm already
Oh,
here.
there you are. Good job. All right, so we'll be co-casting here with Sintra and Demonicus. Demonicus is also a pretty high-tier Cav player. Demonicus, out of curiosity, I don't recall. Are you? Well, that was a serious comment. Are you not in one of the Super Ego matches? Are you? Our teams together?
No, since I'm one of the admins for the tournament, I'm not going to be participating in the
You're in BDiv, right?
Super Ego. Yeah, I am in BDiv, yes.
So you didn't need to laugh. I was being serious. I was being complimentary. Anyways, so yeah, I think Demonicus has a good eye for things. Very simple. Skirmish played various different servers, different bots that they have for matchmaking. Has stuff together for a very long time. No surprises there. Fans of the series. And anyway, we're still just about having all the players join. Looks like we're missing just about one on Les's team. You know, ironically, okay, I think one player on Les's lineup deplat with their... Well, I won't mention who that is, but you guys will figure that out. Anyways, lots of very solid players. Demonicus, I've been rambling for quite a while. Any thoughts going into this match right away? The rosters, lineups.
I'm curious to see what lineups they actually run. From what I can see from Lester's lineup, they are going to have Lessler, Eileen, No Panda, Chunky Monkey, Ducky Dreadsword, and GTA, I believe, are the players that they are going to be running.
That's Eileen's, is that Eileen's profile picture? I can't tell for VK Dreadsword who that is.
VK Dreadsword... Yes, that is Eileen, I believe.
Yeah. I recognize No Panda is the V avatar who has a joke name currently. And everybody else has a mostly normal name, except that King Les is... I don't know, they're all Dreadswords now. That's some joke, I guess. And... yeah. I didn't realize that Alejandro is on Matt's team. Is that on their roster? Did I miss that?
Yes, that is on the roster, yes.
And GTA
Alejandro
does that
and Afnol are the high tier A div players on the Bannerlord team.
You know, if I just look through the list for Matt, it's like Matthew, Risk, Yoshi, Chowski, Wegnus, Glitterball, Sug, Gamer Guru, Alkiria. I don't see Alejandro on there, but is an alias there that I don't recognize?
Alejandro
I'm
should be on
reminding
that
you of
list.
something currently.
Was that Centro? Sorry.
I'm reminding you of something.
Oh, good point.
2
Yeah, that's a good
minutes.
point. Thank you, Sintra. There's an overlay for the warm-up that should be going away. It's turned off. Fantastic. Wow, that's really cool. All right. So we're actually going to be starting here in about 3 seconds. Exciting stuff, guys. This is going to be our first A-Div match. Well, maybe not first. That's a long story. I'm getting that into those details. It's definitely the first Super Ego League. So this is the reformed, reconstituted, partially hydrogenated division for the top tier players. There you go. So we have basically Eileen and Les on Cav versus Alejandro and at Samba. Oh my god, that's crazy. Off the bat. That is a huge play.
Could be Afnol. Okay, that's who we have on Cav right now. Sorry,
Les got incited by a dismounted cavalry. I just do not see that usually happening in matches, but it's interesting to see that play. Wow, this is all happening so fast. It's hard to say who's winning.
Apologies. Yeah, apologies. A little technical difficulties on my end that I've just fixed, so I'll be able to make calls in the game now. Just a minute here.
As far as it seemed to be going very fast, but it's actually lasting a pretty long time, this first infantry fight. I think Empire is going to just barely win this and try to push they're trying to push that second life off the loot in Sturgia. One of them is trying to get some of the loot so that there's nothing left for the second lives on Sturgia. It makes sense to me. They're trying to reset here on their first lives. They got to do some damage, and they get knocked out by Eileen and don't do much as a result. Well done to Sturgia. That's Les's team.
Alright, from what we can see here, Samba has a life still that could give him an advantage and a chance to play a little bit of risky to get some more damage here. This is going to be a very tough round from the Sturgia side as they have the peasant lives here, as the second infight is starting, just off the B flag out in the open.
Yeah, one of them gets obliterated right away, so it's the hardest round, and they need
Cav, if they can stay up though for the Cav, oh no, and
yeah, they took an immediate casualty and then another casualty right off the bat. It was just no way.
Yeah,
It's a great fight for
it's it's 4-3. It's still could be winnable from Sturgia's side here. No Cav up though on the Sturgia side. Shields are broken. It's going to be a misstab coming in from the dismounted cavalry. And close first round, very close first round.
So, we have commentary about anime in the chat from the player. Anyways, I want to just comment that I saw one juggle block where somebody changed attack block directions, and that was one of the fastest versions I've seen of that, which makes sense to happen in one of these matches. But somebody should do a slow mo of that. It was crazy. Let's see if Les, hopefully does not get dismounted by a dismounted spearman. That was seen that very often. Where's the other Cav?
That is a Alejandro staple of waiting around the corner dismounted to hit the enemy Cav, get them at a disadvantage. It is a signature play style of his. I'm surprised that with those two players' history that they did not expect that. And an immediate dismount and kill onto Alejandro on the first Cav life as the infight gets underway on the B flag. Big rear coming in. That is an Empire Cav dismounted now. Legionaries falling. Looks like Sturgia's doing quite well in this first fight.
Almost got a clean sweep there, but not
very even fight. It's looking like Sturgia might come out ahead because they have the Cav up. Yep.
Yeah.
But it's practically an even fight there. maybe, oh no, 2 infantry still up from the Sturgy side. Let's see if they can get some damage on the second lives. Oh, big
It's a
rear.
great rear
Oh
right
no.
there.
Not able to get a dismount there, but a lot of damage done on that horse for sure. And
Chunky gets a hit in.
they're going to try
That's
to
a
clear up
huge
the
hit.
first lives. They do get a...
At least 2 hits in there for the
Oh,
first lives. Yeah.
one is out. Ducky actually got Efnel out
That's
of
crazy.
the round, so very, very well played there on their reset there to get one out like that. Native Empire without any extra armor is quite squishy, so they don't take many hits to bring down. And Sturgia, it's looking like, are going to handedly clean up the remaining Empire forces here.
Do you know if Atsamba is an alias? Who's that player? Do you know? DeMarcus?
Yes, Atsamba is a longtime TAW member. In the last Skirmish League Cup, he was the A-Div duo with FMGK on Cav. He's rusty. He hasn't played much since then, if at all. So that's probably why you haven't heard of him. But he is a very high-skilled player, though, again, hasn't played hardly at all in about a year. So
Eileen and Alejandro top of the scoreboard right now. We got Eileen on Druznik and the lighter class. That was a early cav hit on, I think, Eileen's horse. Hard to tell.
Cav duel going on. Empire do have the advantage with the better horses and spears, but the imp fight is underway. Alejandro
Dismount
immediately
right
going
away.
down once again.
Eileen loses his horse, but he remounts really fast.
Cav trying to do work, but the Cav getting diffed.
Yeah.
The Cav getting diffed by Les and Eileen here. That's surprising too on the Sturgia Cav, but that Sturgia Heavy Cav is no joke. Very long lance, very strong and fast horse. One of the best heavy horses in the game.
I think Druznik is like top
And
8 for score.
he goes for the couch and dismounts Alejandro in his own spot. That's
Yeah,
a
that's huge.
dismounted second life Cav. Huge play.
Yeah, Les and Eileen are playing really well together right now. And obviously they don't have the advantage. Hard cap, at least the light lives. That's, oh my god, crazy, the brace there. From Chunky. And Chunky timed that perfectly, and now they have no cav on Empire. So that's Matt's team.
Yeah, no Cav on Empire, and the Imp are putting in work on the Sturgius side. Some of their Sturgius Imps still have first lives.
Wow.
It is a complete slaughter right now from the Sturgius side, beside that first round where they had the peasant lives.
Yeah, it's a win for team number 5 for the Super Ego League. That's for Les. Good work to them. If you think about it, we've only had 2 quote-unquote even rounds. It's the second and third round, and where the first round, huge advantage to Sturgia. So like the 2 real rounds have both gone to Les's team. It's more, I would say that's more an indicator of the rest of this match than the first round was.
Yes, what we'll have to see on the side swap, because Sturgia would, most people, players, the stats also, would agree that Sturgia is the better side, even with the slight cav disadvantage, just because the Sturgia Imp is just so strong. Very tanky, very tough to kill.
I don't like
Good weapons.
Eileen fighting solo versus 2 cav here. It doesn't make sense to me.
Eileen is a very risky player. He is probably using the higher HP of his horse. Oh, he does not have the higher HP horse, but he still gets away. Oh no, he does get dismounted here, trying to go back to his team. But he does stall those cav in the imp fight.
Yeah, they were out of the fight for very
and
long.
the
Oh
imp
my god,
fight.
let's get Alejandro.
Alejandro trying to come in.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
makes up for that slight mistake by Eileen there immediately.
Eileen's about to get remounted too if they don't kill that horse. No,
Yeah.
the infantry's already going to block him off.
But the Sturgian Imp wiping up the remaining Empire Imp, not taking that much damage, is looking really bad from the Bannerlord team right now. Their cav is not performing as well as I thought they would. A lot of people were also very critical of the Eileen less is more Cav duo, but it's actually working exceptionally well currently. Sturgeon Force is able to get a bit of damage, also knocking out Matt the Lord. That's bad going into this, most likely the last round. Canton, though, getting a kill on less, but he has 2 more Cavs lives under his belt, so he was playing very risky there on purpose, knowing that he has 2 more lives he can use.
And that was from the eco from the Blood Money perk, right?
Yes, the Blood Money perk. Sturgeon Cav is not particularly strong, but if you are able to get kills with that eco perk, you can get triple lives and potentially be even more damaging in that respect.
Yeah, theoretically,
Eileen just killing them all right now in the fight, doing exceptionally well. Both Cav doing exceptionally well, getting a lot of damage. And that's going to be the first half of the first set already concluded.
That was pretty fast for this type of match. Alright, so side swap will have Matt the Lord's team moving over to Sturgia and less on Empire for the first time. They'll be the second half of this map. Side note, if people have any issues with the audio, things like that, I recommend... We haven't had any on the stream, actually. Discord during a stream. Tab it up. So, a number of viewers who hopped on kind of as we move into the second half of the first map. So, as an intro, we have Daemonicus, who's a B Division tier Cav, very experienced skirmish player. We're also having, on this call, co-casting Sintra, who I think is... Remind me which division you're in, Sintra?
D.
D Division.
Really?
I think you could be in C Division, but as infantry. Anyway, who's also very experienced in a variety of skirmish matches, well known among recent skirmish players. He's been around a lot, and so myself, C Div Cav, did pretty okay, kind of okay sometimes. Pretty satisfied with my performance last match, although we had advantage in the first map with one player and then just ridiculous for their ping. But as we wait for them to get ready up, I think they're just about to shorten the warm up. Let's kind of review the rosters on both teams. Currently online right now, top of the scoreboard for Les's team on Empire. You have No Panda. GTA Dreadsword, I don't recall seeing him right at the start of the first match, but maybe he subbed in. Did you notice when that changed, Daemonicus?
He was there last round.
No, he was there.
The whole time? Or just kind of second, third rounds?
No, he was there the whole time.
Alright, I missed him. Alright, fair enough. And then you have Les, Chunky, Eileen, and Ducky. That's Les's lineup right now.
The player you thought was GTA is actually No Panda. That's No Panda playing. Under the George name there. So.
Gotcha. Alright, anyways, on Matt's team, obviously you have Matt the Lord himself, Etsanba, Canton, Alejandro, Work War Boss, and Forsaken Ethnal. All very solid players. I wonder, do you think there's any odds here of Ethnal going on Cav at any point versus Etsanba? I'd probably
I don't think they'd have to put a different infantry player in to take out Samba off of Cav. Ethnal is probably I'd say with certainty that Ethnal is the best Cav player on their team. But Ethnal is also a very good Inf and Archer player.
Right.
However, yeah, Samba, not very familiar, not a lot of hours on infantry, a lot of hours on Cav, but like I said, he's barely played at all in the past year.
Right.
So.
Is Alcuria on Matt's team?
No, I believe Alcuria is on the Matt Byzantine team, not Matt the Lord's team.
Gotcha.
There are 2 Matthews in this as captains in this division.
Oh
so.
no!
Yeah.
I'm very silly. I've been being off the other Matt's time. They do make it easy by having the exact same name, but I'm very silly. We were overdue for mistake this stream, so that's what happened. Anyways.
Yeah, I was confused where you were getting that roster from, but that makes
Yeah.
sense now and is understandable. They did take Alejandro off Cav to put him on Spear. He is the most experienced Spear imp, actually, in the skirmish scene. Lots of games on the Spear. He's doing the two-handed Spear infantry tech with Efnel and at Samba now on Cav. Oh, sorry, no, Efnel's not on Cav at all. It looks like they're running 5-1, actually. An interesting switch-up playing around the strengths of their comp. Let's see if it pays off for them. Again, though, we have to remember the Sturgian round is going to be difficult first round because they do have the first lives, or sorry, the second life peasant infantry. So,
wow, Empire might have
did
been
that very well
in the first
by
lives.
focusing down L.
but despite that, though, the Sturgian side did not do that well, even on their first lives. So that is not boding well for this performance. So Sturgians will lose here, as they are generally supposed to, but not a good showing on their first live fight there.
Another round to Les's team. That puts the score to 4-1 overall. Looks like this might be a bit of a stump. I mean, that's definitely my prediction at this point. You know, with these players, they're very solid. We could see a big upset. I would not be hugely surprised, but it's certainly not the most likely outcome at this point. I think we pretty much to expect for subsequent rounds. So, crazy things happen.
Yep. What I will say coming into this game, looking at both rosters, I did have the favorites to be the Less is More team. However, I did not think that the first half showing would be that strong for them. So we'll see, though, what happens now with the rest of this match. Anything can happen in skirmish. So
Hunter gets a dismount right away.
that's very good. The team needs to, the Sturgian side needs to play around that spear.
They're doing it.
If Al is able to spear freely, he can do a lot for their team. But that is going to be Efnel, I believe, dismounted.
Oh my, is that second
Oh
life
no, they
Cav?
put out
Empire dismounted right
Samba.
away.
They
He's
put
about
out
to be down.
Samba.
Oh my,
Yeah,
Les
that's
is
right,
out.
yeah. Les is out. That is terrible for the Empire side then. Sturgia cleaning up on the first life too, so we do have a game here. They are doing very well in that fight. They played around the spear. They let the spear work, get damage off, rear that Cav and dismount it. Good play from the Sturgian side here to try to turn things around. They could. It's still possible for them to tie this set and leave everything into the second set. Eileen getting dismounted on his last life. Eileen does have the possibility to spawn recruit, but I don't think he will, given the circumstances. Alejandro's still on first, or Bannerlord's still on first life getting damage. Alejandro's still on, was still on first life getting damage as well. So the Empire side has taken a lot of damage now from those resetting first life Sturgians.
Yeah, they're looking pretty hosed here. GTA in particular looks pretty hurt. Yeah, he goes down really fast.
Yeah, they're going to get cleaned up here. An excellent comeback here in terms of play from the Sturgian side. After losing 4 rounds in a row, they are able to hopefully get the momentum back in their favor and tie this set up.
Where's your bias? Hopefully? You gotta be biased for Les's team. Anyways, we're too objective here on this stream.
I'd like, you know, I like to see good matches, good games. You know, that's really why I'm here.
That's fair. Alright, we are still at a fight. They drop a Cav?
He dropped a Cav.
Yeah, they dropped a Cav on Les's team, so...
I think they're going to hard focus Alejandro here. If they
Yeah,
do
that's
that,
probably going to be the plan here.
win.
Yeah, really hard to stay on spear if you're down in infantry. So, especially on a tiny map like this.
Are doing a good job suppressing your spear.
you know, they stay relatively close, so they can switch off if they're supposed to as infantry players to be effective, and that means that you can't really get lucky and avoid a spear just by virtue of people being dispersed out, you know, as a higher 2-power player.
Okay, it looks like they're setting up for the second match, and I'm going to have to go quickly set that up for them on the admin panel. So just 1 second. I'll have to take a break from my commentary here.
A huge stab from the launcher there. Sambo's just dismounted, not attacking me early. Well, he is first life, so it's not that early. One player is
Definitely much closer than last round to going to the second fight.
yeah, Empire has all their infantry up, not as quite badly hurt as they were last time that they lost the first fight, but they still took quite a bit of damage there. And they have no extra life to spare right now. So looks like Samba might have a third life on Cap if he gets enough kills here. So he's like at least 3, I think. It's not super likely. It's a match. But Samba remounts, and he gets dismounted right away. Not chunky. Alright, wow, that's a lot of noise.
Much closer there.
Yeah, that was closer, for sure. But yeah, they could actually even it up here, like Adonphus was saying. If they gets another round here, it'll be 4-4 even score for the first map. And I mean, people do tend to think that Sturgia is a faction, so yeah, they are turning it around. And hard to say how much of that is just, you know, was less mistakes the first round that they lost on this half. Looks like one player is a little bit late to the infantry fight here. Are they back to 4-2 on Les's team? Yeah, they're back to 4-2 with Eileen back on Cav. I need to see some real damage get in from Eileen and Les to justify having 2 Cav. They are actually kind of winning this fight on Empire, just barely.
I think the Imp cooked there. Empire Imp did very well in that round, considering they were
I
down.
think just barely was an understatement. They actually did really well to have three lives still up. Is their Cav, and all of their Cav went down on Sturgia, so that's Matt's team. It's almost gonna take a nasty hit there. That was probably a lot of damage with that axe. Well, actually, it's cavalry axe. So Les still is dead there. I was just checking that. In fact, he has a recruit left afterwards, I think. No, he doesn't. I was wrong. He's going heavy cav. Is that no panda, is my guess? Yeah, it's no panda, taking a very long time to reset. Very survivable player. We have a recruit from Ducky. Interesting play. He's enough for another life, so are they going to wait for him to reset? I mean, I don't know. Kind of odd. They don't have a whole lot of morale to spare on Sturgia, so they have to fight right away.
Ducky's heavy.
Yeah, Ducky went down pretty fast there.
So is Sturgia.
But
Now, I will say, as much as I am enjoying this game, we are about to have the what most would consider the number 1 and 2 teams play in this Super Ego League on the same map and factions coming up here soon. So hopefully this first game gets resolved quickly.
honestly, Demonicus, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea for you to, if you have OBS set up, to split off from co-casting and cast that match, because I'm kind of already committed to watch this one in full and then number 3 in full.
Since I reset my computer, I don't have OBS or any of that stuff set up, so I wouldn't be able to, unfortunately.
Alejandro is taking really hits here in this fight.
Big step from
Alejandro, yeah, getting a big rear. That is Eileen going down. I see. So, Empire was able to get a second round,
Chunky
and
is,
the issue now is there's going to be no eco coming in from the Sturgis side here, so they're going to have to go Brigands, or maybe one of them comes back as Cav. Yeah, Efnal came back as Cav. Legolas came back as Archer. Legolas underperforming for a player of his skill, unfortunately. Sad to see, but
I believe he was subbed in.
yeah, I don't think he was
subbed in mid-round?
Between rounds.
Between rounds? I see
Yeah,
that, never mind.
I don't recall seeing him until just now.
1 kill, 1 death.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Legolas. Interesting call.
We have Eileen coming back as...
That's a morale
and it's
victory?
going to be a morale timeout there. Flag control important. Sectoral control maintained by the Less is More team. And it's going to be
6-2, right?
6-3?
No, he's
Because they
6-3.
got one
6-3,
round. Yeah, 6-3.
right.
6-3 going into the second half.
Next map is Town Outskirts, correct?
I'm not actually sure.
Well, week 1, if we're doing week 1 maps, it was Town Outskirts and then Vlandia versus Empire.
Okay.
That is from memory, though, so you may want to consult the Maps and Factions channel.
Thanks for having me, Fief. I do need to leave, though.
Alright, see you later, Central. Thanks for joining.
Peace.
So we'll see here what the maps and factions are. I believe your memory is correct from what I remember, at least. So let's see what we're getting here.
By BSL standards, we're at a very high level of viewership with 17 concurrent viewers. It's kind of the highest we've seen, I think, so far. Maybe a similar number on the very first match, actually.
So the map is Town Outskirts. I don't believe these were the factions. I believe this was a misinput. Yeah. So Town Outskirts is interesting. A map loved by Cav players, hated by infantry, and it's easy to see why, or feel why if you've ever actually played the map. Lots of routes for Cav to come in and out of the fight. Big open spaces, hard for the infantry to defend against.
Plus, really abysmal lighting, which really punishes you if you don't turn off shadows. They didn't.
Yes, that's on several
breaks.
maps. For the competitive advantage, you do kind of have to turn off shadows in this game. It makes certain areas very dark.
It's like, I think people didn't know how to map. I think there are light probes that you can use. I think makes it a little bit less bad potentially. Maybe I might be delusional with that. I haven't actually.
Well, these maps. The maps with the most shadow issues are actually made by Tailworlds themselves. So Just putting that out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you know if they were using light probes on the map? I'm curious if that's a factor or not.
I'm not sure. Mapping is definitely not my expertise. I from how dark it is though normally, I don't think so. But
They really should have
yeah,
these roofs.
from
You
what
could
I can
actually-
see on your stream, it's not too bad. But
well, it looks a lot worse in game.
certain
in fact,
certain settings make it like default settings make it pretty horrendous.
when you're in a match, like it looks okay right now. But when I'm in game and I have, it does play differently when you're actually in a character, and it looks a lot darker. Like there's a certain effect where I think they try to simulate eye adjustment or something. But when you're in a brighter environment and then you're looking into a darker one, like it adjusts differently when you go inside. Which, like, in principle, is that actually how your eyes kind of work? Yeah, it kind of is how your eyes actually work. But it's fun that you can just like turn that off and it's worse, but it plays better. So I don't really like that feature about this game.
Well, visibility is like key in a competitive environment, so
Right.
it's understandable why they would turn that off. But
Oh, I'm
it
not
does make
complaining
me
if people
wonder why they enabled that though on the skirmish maps.
Why not a freaking hole in these? If it's and you'd think that these giant windows would do something, but they needed another one apparently.
And you also have to think that's not even the worst. It gets worse on under what's the desert one? Trading post. Trading post. The whole B flag is that big, very dark tunnel. And on Lighthouse, not a Tail Worlds map, but one of the probably the most liked, universally liked user created map, or player created map, I should say. The tunnel that connects from practically both spawns is also very dark and hard to play in.
Right.
But the round is underway. We have Alejandro and Atsamba on Cav immediately coming in for a stab on the Imp right off the rip. From the Less is More team, yes, he did.
62 score, that hurts.
62 damage on one infantry before even the first fight. Getting damage on the Horse of Eileen there, not much. They are running Legolas on the Archer, so we do have an Archer player, and this map isn't bad for Archers. A lot of space to work with here. Les trying to get on the Archer here, but getting help and from Alejandro here. And Les plays dearly for that mistake, already dying. Atsamba is dismounted though already, now fighting alongside the Imp. Legolas now able to shoot into the fight. Les coming back on his second life, very risky, but gets some damage and gets away. Alejandro cleaning up well these remaining infantry here. But it will look like the Empire are going to clutch this first fight. But the Archer is still up from the Vlandia side. And that Vlandia crossbow does a ton of damage. It is the only melee weapon as far as, ranged weapon as far as I'm aware, that can one-shot to the head heavy infantry. So
is that the regular variant of it?
I believe that's the Arbalest version. I'm not sure which one Legolas is using. Let me see if I can get a look.
Probably the fast one. I think people really hate the Arbalest.
Yes, I believe it is the fast one. But the fast one, it can still do 90 plus to the head, so it can practically one-shot. Still get tons of damage. It can easily one-shot Cav with the Hunter perk. So very deadly crossbow regardless.
Actually, Vlandia's looking kind of healthy for their second lives. I mean, around to lose, but they're not looking too bad.
Yeah, they're going to have to play around that first life Archer and first life Cavalry player.
Right.
Get as much value as that they can. It is winnable from the Vlandia side, but obviously not favored for them right now.
He's second, isn't he?
Atsamba's second. Alejandro is not, though, and
I
Alejandro
didn't
is
see him around
fighting
here.
on Cav. And Alejandro working hard to defend that Archer. The Archer's still on first life, taking a stab, but is still up, getting the reload off. That is going to be Eileen going out. No Panda is out. The crossbow does fall, though, and so the crossbow itself falling on the ground. That is less out now. And it's looking like Vlandia are going to claim this first round, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, they're supposed to lose in principle with their weaker second lives.
Alejandro
Oh
doing
God.
tons of damage, playing around Legolas exceptionally well. GTA, though, still up, getting a kill. Anything's possible in the 3v1, but it is 2 Cav and the crossbow.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough one for him. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, they're just probably going to kite him out and take stabs, yeah.
Yep.
Alejandro, though, getting 623 score in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, 300 or
Alejandro
400
is the player in this tournament with the most tournament experience across all the Mountain Blade games.
Sambo's going for an early kill again. He might have been called out already.
And we are having a different play. The Empire Inf actually going straight to the C flag, which is right near the Vlandia spawn. They're going for a completely different approach, opting to avoid the fight on the B flag. I think that was a big stab from Les there onto Empire Inf. And, oh, we already have a dismount too.
Eileen, yeah.
Yeah, Eileen dismounted early. Yeah, and that's going to be his first life, already gone.
It's going to hurt them a lot in the first fight. And the thing is, if they have an archer on Vlandia, you can't really as safely...
Vlandia, though, did recognize the Empire infantry movements and did opt to switch sides with them. But now the Empire Inf are full pushing towards the A flag now. We do have the spear from No Panda coming out here on this Inf heavy map. Or sorry, yeah, Cav heavy map.
No Panda's very solid on spear, but he didn't get those hits in on the Cav.
Yes, no, the Empire tried to go to the C flag to avoid a fight like this out in the open, but they ended up pushing and taking it anyways, trying to get kills on that archer. Just full charging the archer there, not a wise move as they get completely wiped. Vlandia taking minimal damage. We even have Legolas mounted up, going for the drive-by. Big stab onto that second life. GTA almost dead on his second life here. That is not good for the Empire's side.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Legolas will go down, playing pretty riskily as an archer, but perhaps he was running low on bolts. Wanted to reset. Alejandro gets a kill on Les. That's Les out. Les and Eileen are out. GTA is out. Only 3 Empire Imps standing. This is not good. Alejandro dropping another over 600 score round.
That's crazy.
Not over 600. Approximately 600 score, but...
Doesn't that even it? Is it 5-6 or is it 6-6?
It's 6-5.
Sorry, you're right. Or 6-5.
Yes, because they did have the edge on the first map, but which does actually kind of make sense. They are they have a solid inf line on the Less is More team, but playing around this archer and Alejandro on Cav, they are tearing this team apart. Eileen getting a good stab on Alejandro though.
Oh, and he goes down.
But that is going to be at Samba, diffing Eileen on the Cav duel there, or on the 50-50 there. That's big. Eileen coming in second life, trying to make a play here, but that's very risky from him.
He hits.
He's going right on the archer. Gets good damage on him. Legolas is low, but he's going to survive there. He gets a kill, stab there on No Panda, trying to push him, and it's looking like... Oh, no. It's still possible for them to win this first fight here from the Empire side, but it's going to be tough here. Les, though, dismounted. That is his first life, though. And he can go the heavy cav class if he so wishes.
He's going to remount here.
Oh, he might get a remount.
Oh, his infantry takes the remount and then gets killed right away? What is Chunky thinking?
I'm not sure. Maybe he was trying to move the horse so that it didn't get hit for him there,
But yeah, it was a very risky choice.
Samba, though, out from the Vlandia side. That's really bad for them. Less here are going to be able to reset and get a horse, though, so not the biggest deal in the world from him. Alejandro, he was first life, just trying to get some score there.
I mean, he has to, use that life while he has it, and before the real fight occurs, so to be risky.
Alejandro even has the option for a third life. We'll see if he chooses to use it. He will use it depending on how the fight goes, I'm sure. No! Empire Inf here looking to push, trying to get on that archer. Ducky has a playstyle of really trying to push towards the archer. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, and it mostly hasn't paid off in this match, but it might this round, so we'll see. The Inf getting behind to push him, and that is going to be a dismount on the second life Eileen, who is now out. It is now even between both teams, 5v5, one cav out on each side. Legolas fighting in the melee, getting damage off. Legolas was first life though, so that's something to keep in mind. Legolas coming back on the crossbow. It's right now a 4v5, but Legolas is currently out of the fight. Alejandro dismounted on his second cav life, but he still gets a kill. And it's looking like the Vlandia side might win, but there's still a cav and an inf up from the Empire side, so we'll see how this goes.
They have a chance.
There is a full health crossbow, where they're now setting up like a garrison here on the ramp. Looking at the A flag, dismounting the cav. It's going to be a tough fight. Two dismounted calves.
It's winnable.
Oh, it's now a 2v2. 2v1 now.
Oh my god, no Panda wins this for sure.
Geez,
Guaranteed.
No Panda
Guaranteed.
clutches it up. Legolas does have a shot in that crossbow.
If he can kill him just in time.
No Panda certainly a better duelist. Gets a hit off though. Legolas a decent fighter in his own right, but oh no, Alejandro spawns with the third spawn that I mentioned.
I called it for No Panda before I saw the second spawn, so this is not.
Legolas going to be able to shoot here.
Yikes.
But Alejandro just has to make sure he doesn't die to No Panda here. And they are going to clutch it up. An amazing clutch from the Vlandia side to secure that 3-0, and we are now at 6-6 even for both sides.
Good job to Matt's team there. They definitely had the chance to win for less, but wow.
Now it's going to look a little different though, because the Empire side is just weaker than the Vlandian side. While Empire still has a good archer, the main thing they're missing is that Hunter perk, which allows the archer to do so much damage to punish cavalry, just one-shotting the horses on that crossbow, at least two-shotting them, or even one-shotting them if they're in the head, running at them, that sort of thing.
Right.
So Legolas is still going to be able to play the archer here and potentially still do really well, but it's not going to be good as the Vlandian crossbow. The Inf are weaker on the Empire side, but they do have the spam, and the Cav is pretty similar. Slightly better horses on the Vlandia side, but they have the same calves here, so we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, it's crazy how much a competent archer will just completely change the dynamics of where a fight goes. I mean, I was just spectating Legolas because I knew that the fight was just going to orbit around him that last round, and it really changes.
It really depends on the team you're facing, right? Some teams will just choose to try to ignore the archer and just kill the infantry, right? Because they'll be down in inf. You know, it depends, right? But knowing the players on Les's team, they're always going to try to get on that archer and push him. And that's actually really bad, particularly on this map, where pushing out into the open will get you punished by Cav. You'll have to turn to either block the Cav or you'll get shot by the archers, so it's pretty brutal to push out into the open on this map.
Currently in the warm-up phase here. Looks like they're going to be using some of that time. Not sure for what.
They might be seeing if there's a player
Possible
swap maybe from someone,
Yeah.
or... But no, okay, looks like we're getting underway with the same lineup from last time.
Now, it has been said, possibly by Les, we'll say, that VK never loses on Vlandia, so we'll see if that pans out here. We do have Les's team, VK mostly, now on Vlandia. Kind of surprised
He
was
did
able to...
conscript all the players that he bought, even though they from the draft, even though if they weren't on VK, he made them put on VK tags anyways. So now they all have VK tags as they go in. An immediate stab coming in from Alejandro, like he did on the other side, but not paying off this time.
Oh, that one.
But
almost,
that was a blunt. That was
Yeah.
a blunt hit, probably around less than 20 damage on him for sure.
It was a love tap.
Actually, I can just check the score. 14, yeah.
Dismount. Who's that? That Samba dismounted right away. Alejandro takes out less. Legos is shooting.
Yeah, big kill there. Les coming back in on his second life though. Gets a kill on Bannerlord.
Les gets 2 kills on his second life, playing pretty risky, which I know he usually does. But yeah, oh, that's Eileen gets killed fighting their archer. That was his first life, I believe.
Yeah, that was his first life though. Alejandro though now fighting Lessler here in a cav duel.
Les has got to get out of there before he gets blindsided from the rear.
Almost a bump hit on that inf there, first life. I'm watching the cav. How's he
Huge.
playing? Samba out. That's
Yeah.
really big for the
Also
Empire side,
Alejandro, but
or
from
for the
Les.
Vlandia side.
Let's get it even with Alejandro this time. Yikes.
That is going to be Eileen, though, going out, getting caught in a really poor position there on the stairs. Trying to make a play on that archer, I presume.
No loot for Vlandia. They're going to get pushed in their spawn.
Yeah, Vlandia was doing a really excellent job to get the momentum there, but with the loot denial here, it's going to be very tough. They have sickles, no shields, and those axes can't one-shot the Vlandian peasants, and will definitely two-shot them, and that's going to be a very good cleanup from the Empire side. The match score has officially tipped in favor of Team Bannerlord.
Very good play from GTA to survive a 2v1 with a sickle for that long. I mean, he didn't win. He survived for longer than he deserved to. So, good try.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing the Vlandian imp could do there at that point.
Yeah.
Being pushed in their spawn like that without any loots. But I thought Vlandia did play really well up until that. Alejandro getting an immediate kill on Eileen in a 50-50. That's not good for the Vlandia side here. And fight underway just off the B flag near the arch.
Archer gets stabbed right away, too.
Alejandro getting team killed by his own team.
I think Vlandia's slightly up in this fight. Yeah, really up in this fight, maybe.
Really up in the fight, but they still have the archer up.
Who could really punish them and reduce the advantage that they have gained here.
But that is going to be all the imp from the Empire side going down. Alejandro coming back as recruit, another class that he plays a lot, much more than any other player plays recruit. And he's running the spear here, getting a ton of damage on this, but these are first life's imps here. Alejandro now going recruit. I believe he went the Pila perk, and now he's running two-handed spear.
Well, yeah.
He might look to try to get a dismount here or a quick stab on an inf and then reset, because he will have a third life.
Oh my gosh.
And he lands a stab on Ducky.
That's got to be like 40, 50 damage there, you think?
Legolas dying, but he was first life there, taking a risk. He gets a rear onto Les. Alejandro does not die there, surprisingly. Still rotating in the fight. He's going to go down. But will he come back? No, probably not. He's probably going to press X here.
Les is about to remount.
Yes, with with 2 players already out, yes, he is going to press X there. And Vlandia will clean up the remaining members of the Empire side here. And it's going to be an even 7-7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ethnal doing really well in infantry. Same thing for No Panda. Got 404 for No Panda, and then 579 score on infantry. Quite a bit of score for 2 rounds. That's just under 300 score per round as infantry, and basically an A-division match. That's pretty solid.
So Alejandro now, if he sticks to Cav, he's going to have 2 Cav lives and a recruit life. So let's see what he's able to do here. Alejandro's still on top for the Empire side, though not doing nearly as good as he did on the Vlandia side. And I believe it's that archer play, not being able to dismount that Cav easily from Legolas, with the no hunter perk with that recurve bow. It's not as effective. Eileen almost landing a couch onto the enemy Cav there. That would have been devastating. Fight underway near the Empire spawn. Matt the Lord already going down. War Boss down.
That was a pretty
Legolas forced to
fight.
play in the spawn. Eileen dismounted on his heavy Cav life. That's going to be Atsamba, I believe, dismounted. Yeah, but he is able to remount on a horse. The Vlandia side kill Legolas, and they do pick up the bow. Inf with a bow from Vlandia's side
They
now.
put it away, though, just to deny it. He's about to die here. Who is that? It's No Panda. No Panda takes the bow back out. Pretty risky play here. Because if he dies with that...
Hey, well, he shoots Warboss in the head there,
Right.
and Legolas is out. They're all out. It's just a full wipe from the Vlandia side here. Just a complete Empire death. Just full push them into the spawns. They spawned. They just kept pushing, and that was a excellent push and play there from the Vlandia side. It's now gone back into favor of 8-7.
Oh, 8-7 is it? Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it last time. Oopsies. We'll go to 8. Good work. Lots of chase in the chat from Les here.
Les's team can clinch the win here, 9-7. Sorry, yeah, 9-7. If they do bring this out here.
This is our last set, correct? This is the second half of the second match?
Yes,
I think this is the last one. So this is either going to be the last round or not. Basically a draw or a win. This is the determinant of that outcome.
No, if Empire is able to win 2 rounds in a row here, they win the match. So.
Oh yeah, good point, good point.
So Empire playing for their lives right now, and Empire Inf dying rather quickly. Archer able to get her way in the back. Eileen dismounted.
Huge kill.
The Empire Inf are just dying though. Alejandro going down.
Might be a VK victory here.
Atsamba still up here.
He's kind of stuck here. He's gonna take some damage.
Les getting dismounted on his first life. Atsamba getting dismounted on his first life.
No, there's nothing good.
Alejandro choosing to come back on his second life as a recruit, saving that he can go either Cav or recruit on his third life here. Empire able to clean it up, but not without taking some damage.
Yeah, they're all looking a little bit hurt here.
But at least they did not
Boss.
get wiped like the first time. Alejandro not mounted, Atsamba not mounted. Both have Cav life though. Getting a good shot there on that imp from Legolas.
Samba's fighting alone
Cav
here.
in the bag.
This is bad.
Cav in the back. Atsamba wants to reset since he's dismounted Cav, I assume. And the rest of the imp for second life, so I believe that was intentional.
Well, maybe with Alejandro at least, you'd think?
I'm not sure. Alejandro might want to get more damage with his javelins there. Yeah, in the fight here. A recruit kind of needs to play off his team, and it's looking like Leicester's team is going to clean up for the 9-7 victory. And that is exactly what happens here. A good game. Excellent watch. It was closer than I thought it was going to be after that first set. But that's great. Are we going to get into the next game here? Because it's already underway.
Yeah, let's go watch it. What server is it on?
2, I believe.
Let's go see that one.
It's already underway, so we're going to have to find out the score here.
Oh, there's a glitch, or my name is now King Leicesterlord Dreadsword. That's not official, by the way. Anyways.
Common bug on the multiplayer interface.
We have 2 servers of players right now, and we're just on 3. We're going to 2, you said?
2, yeah, I'm on 2 right now.
You know, actually, didn't the third match already start as well?
It might have. Though this is probably the second half, I would assume, based off of the time they started. And it's 2-1 in favor of Sturgia right now. Falcon Hunter got dismounted, immediately remounts. We got the imp fight going on the A flag. Empire here looking like they're going to clean up, but what lines was that? The loss here, joining mid-round, mid-match. Let's see, we have Falcon on first life, Frog on first life. Okay, it looks like the Empire side is up in this. Do we have a hammer coming out?
Did you not stream my fucking match, man?
No, I did. We just switched to number...
We just finished it.
Yeah, we just finished it.
Oh, okay. Alright.
There's other games getting lost later. We have to move on to.
Yeah.
This is the Dylan Z Matthew captain games.
Kind of inclined to go watch number 3 because we'll be able to watch the full match, as opposed to this one where we kind of missed the start.
I will say though, these are the 2 favorites going into the tournament by the player base, but you know, anything can happen, of course. But
I think my team absolutely cooks both these teams.
I disagree with that, but you have the every opportunity to prove me wrong.
You know, Demonicus, you know, these teams here have heroes on them. They got Legendary Frog, Falcon Hunter on that team. And then on this team, you got Yoshi and Chowski, Wegness, you know, those 3. But they have Risk, Matt, and Glitterball. They got Tint, Sweet, and Fire Spark. I mean, these players need to be carried. My team's the only team that doesn't need to have people carry them.
I completely disagree with your self you know, endorsement there, whatever you want to call it, you know.
Would you say that Risk is a top tier player?
No, but I don't think all the players that's the player I'd say is the weakest right now, but by no means is a terrible player.
On the Empire team, who'd you say their worst player is?
I think it depends on what's going on.
Well, I'm talking about the category, and you know, in the context of an A division team.
From the Empire side, I'd say it's Fire Spark, but not necessarily if he's on Archer. And as that last game exposed, you have some big Archer issues when it's not the Empire side.
Blandian crossbows just for OP. That's
it is. It is, which we discussed. But the game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Genuinely, I thought you were going to handedly crush them, but 9-7 is a pretty close score.
I mean, the first game was 6-3, and then the second game was 3-4. We lost that second map technically, right? 4-1.
Yes.
I don't think we got a single round on Empire, did we?
No.
Yeah. Any crossbow goes for.
But this Firespark team has a much better team to play around him, in my opinion, than the team with Legolas on it there.
That's true.
But
They're not running the Archer. They're not running Archer anymore.
because they are, because it's Empire side. This map not super great for an archer,
True.
and
That's
Firespark is a decent imp. So I'm not sure what the overall score is here.
Whoa, looks like Frog's team just won that first fight really handedly. Chowski, Wegness, Yoshi, you'd think their team would be favored.
I actually disagree. I think on paper, Dylan Z has the best team in the tournament. It's whether the discussion is whether or not Falcon Hunter is going to be able to lock in, but it looks like he is, as he has a ton of score. Legendary Frog has a ton of score, and they're doing both quite well.
I feel like this is just like a regular MM game. If you press tab and look at the bottom half, it's being carried by the top half of both teams.
Well, that's what happens when you have infantry less.
What do you mean?
Well, the infantry players are on the bottom, you know? I think that's pretty normal.
If you press tab, I wouldn't say that's true. Looks like Infantry Legendary Frog is #1 on Empire.
True.
That is true.
It's definitely a case of the S tier players carrying lower league players. 3-2. I know the score was first half. Dylan Z did have the most money in this tournament. You know, that does make sense why you'd have some better players on his team.
He did not. Matthew actually had the most money in this
Oh,
tournament.
did he?
Yes, by a decent margin.
Dylan.
No, Dylan Z had the same as you, I believe.
Are you kidding me? That's hilarious. So now, should I do this for them? Skirmish.
Is Tint Dylan correct?
You know, Les, Tinted Skin is Dylan Z.
Okay.
Is this just going to be one long stream, Fief?
Yeah, we're just doing a continuous stream, kind of match by match. I was hoping to kind of go to #1 in full, do #2 in part, and then go to #3, but I think at Demonicus' recommendation, I'll do #2 in full, actually, instead. As full as it can be.
So so ditch this one?
Just this one. Will be just 2 matches. So yeah, for Tinted Skin / Dylan Z, we have Legendary Frog, who is just incredible on everything, but has been playing infantry. We saw on the last half of the first map there. And Falcon Hunter definitely could play anything, but has been mostly on Cav. Bober Curva, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, is usually on Cav, but it can definitely be on infantry as well. I think I didn't see if he was on Cav or not last map. Not sure. And Swedes.
Okay, so we have the score 6-3, 6-3 in favor of Dylan Z Tinted Skin's team here. So
it's the legendary frog carry, legendary carry.
Yeah, see, I was told I was crazy for thinking that this was the best team in the tournament, but and that the other team that they are facing is the best. But like I said, that team is very top heavy. That team especially is very top heavy, dependent on its 3 S tier players that they have.
Very top heavy, and I think that's it's a bad way to build your team. I think it's important to have well-rounded team, and you know, if you yourself aren't going to be good enough to make your team well-rounded, then the rest of it needs to be.
In my opinion, Dylan Z's team is the most well-rounded team in the tournament.
Dylan Z's team?
Yes.
That's not the team first got it, right?
No.
I mean, with Legendary Frog on their team, is Trickster on that team too?
No, he is not.
Today?
Scrixter is on Madoc's team, or
Oh,
Cites.
that's right. You know,
And
I feel
that
like
team only has Scrixter.
nothing going for
So,
They're about to get started here, looks like.
Surprised Frog was able to make it. Oh, I guess it is a Monday. I think that
Frog said he would take off time for a match as long as he knew when it was. So,
he needs a week notice. The thing with I think the Empire team is going to do a lot better now that it's an open map. I think it's on this map is definitely Landia sided, like we talked about earlier, but having an open map for Wegness to run Cav on is going to be crazy.
we also have to remember, though, from the Vlandia side, they're going to probably have Fire Spark on the crossbow, which is pretty effective, as you saw in your own game. So
True. It's true.
that horse gets shown and it gets shot. That's it's almost dead immediately.
And
So
the Empire Light Horse doesn't even have barding options for perks.
no, it does not.
Makes it very hard to.
Yeah, Cav v Cav,
Really.
the Vlandia Empire matchup is pretty even for Cav versus Cav because of the spear. The horses are very similar, but when you add the archer, it's a completely different game here. And on an open map like this, running an archer is good. But we also have Glitter Ball now, counterfiring on the Empire bow, but not nearly as good as a Clash without the Hunter perk available to it. So we'll see here how this plays out.
The enemy Cav take barding. The Vlandian Cav take barding.
No, and I don't think they would because they're not that scared of the bow, I believe. Falcon, though, trying to make a play, very risky, stupid play there on the archer, getting shot in the leg, punished for that.
Ooh, Cav gets dismounted.
We have what is that? Bober dismounted. Yeah, Bober dismounted by the spear in the back. They're able to run a spear here on this map. No, big kill on Glitter, though, from Falcon Hunter, getting a kill on that archer. The bow is down.
Whoa,
he is going to...
I was just about to comment.
Falcon taking a...
Switch to his spear, and I'm wrong, man. He got that kill on Yoshi. Holy crap. And W player
Spear is good if you
his
know how to
roots.
play. Switching to the sword
now.
here. Surprised he didn't run mace for the extra armor on the spear, but to each his own, I suppose. Getting a great kill there on Frog. With a glance, though, but he was that low.
Looks like that Empire faction won that first fight.
Yeah, I believe I believe the Vlandia Cav made some misplays there. And oh, Sweet's already out. He must have got picked off in the spawn.
Magnus only with 89 score right now. That's interesting.
89. But you know, he's doing what he needs to do, it seems. So
Oh, Jesus,
Yoshi getting a ton
Glitter.
of score. Glitter Ball going down though to Falcon. It is a 5v5, but obviously Empire have the advantage here, having lives and 2 heavy spawns in the first round.
I think Frog was able to loot a sword. That's all he needs. He's the best player in North America. Undisputedly heavyweight champion of the world.
I believe that might be some bias coming in, though he is an arguable #1 player in NA.
Who's better than him?
I think it depends. I'd say Scrixter is a better all-around player.
I would say
I'd say
Scrixter's better
Wegness
than
is better
Frog
on
at any
Cav.
one item though.
Definitely on Archer.
Yeah, maybe just Archer. That's it.
In my opinion, Cav too, but they're very close, very close.
I think Legendary Frog is the best infantry player in North America. I don't even think it's disputable. It's biased, but I mean, like, you changed the meta. You changed the meta in North America.
On
He used to be
Skirmish, though, or on the matchmaking block, though, not really in high-level play. He's not running the two-hander that much.
He has ran two-hander in high-level play multiple times. But I mean,
he
the
hasn't.
thing is
He hasn't so
two-hander-
far. So
Two-hander has never been viable ever in any circumstance until Frog showed up and showed us how.
that is true. But again, all his experience is on the two-hander. I don't know.
He's
I
not the
think
best
it's very
sword and board
close.
infantry for sure. He's definitely not the best sword and board infantry, but he's the backbone of the Valangian infantry line. I think that Yoshi is actually top 10 in that A for sure.
We just
I
won a
don't know where
tournament,
he'd
didn't
be
he?
at.
Definitely.
They won a tournament?
Yeah, he just won
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
that was Yoshi and who?
Yoshi came in, Gavin.
Yoshi came in and Gavin. We know Gavin is top 3 probably. And then Yoshi, and then you said K-Man? K-Man's definitely bottom of top 10. He's up there.
Yeah, people who don't know who K-Man is are probably mishearing that as caveman, but it's just the letter K and then man. So for the record, for people who are just listening.
My favorite thumb.
Yeah, there was a controversy in the tournament though, and Chunky and Vampy like got very mad and crashed out, and that's why they lost.
Oh,
In all the
really?
practice matches and the previous matches, though, Chunky Vampy Crusader did beat that team in the
That's
3v3.
interesting.
But there
I
was
don't
a,
think
a
Vampy
tournament decision that went directly against them and benefited the Yoshi Gavin K-Man team.
What was that tournament
And,
decision?
The game crashed when Chunky Vampy Crusader team was up a player, and it was a 3v2 when it crashed, and instead of they offered to like restore the health values the Crusader team, so it would like play out, and like, you know, so it could still potentially they could still win that round, but the tournament refused and had them replay the round, and they got very upset. Crusader 5 told me that the morale was shattered and they lost after that, but they had previously been winning before that, so
Sad to hear.
but yeah, not that they're not good players in their own rights, though. The 3 of them that won, but it was a controversial decision. But Empire here, on their second lives, cleaning up some of the infantry here. The Bober is already out from the Cav. And yeah, things aren't going well for Valandia, surprisingly. They're also able to secure the crossbow, which fires Spark Drop. Not a very strong showing from Valandia here on this map. I thought they would do better here, based off their team comp, but that doesn't seem to be happening. And it is just going to be a situation of cleanup here from the Valandia side. Or from the Empire side, I believe. But it is now a 4v4 actually here. Things have turned on their head, it would seem.
I was really surprised that Empire came back. It looked like Landy had it in the bag.
Glitter Ball stalling for time, getting shots off. Landia do have control of the flag, though, currently. Cavs still up on both sides. No, actually, I don't think they are.
Wagner's getting a
No.
crossbow right now? He sure
Oh,
shit
Wagnus
is.
is getting a crossbow. That's pretty dangerous on the mount. Leaving the spear, though, a questionable decision. I feel like, but perhaps his horse is very low and only intends to get a couple shots off here.
Ooh.
Oh, he's just going to shoot from the side here, setting up a crossfire with Glitter Ball. Frog killing,
Sweet.
team killing Sweet. Not good from the Valandia side here.
That's a 4v2.
Valandia had a chance to claw it back here, but it's looking like, as of right now, it's going to be an Empire victory for this round.
If I had to bet $1 million on this match, I think that Chowski's team is going to take the cake here. The fact that they're doing this well on Empire, very scary.
Aren't they down 3 rounds?
I thought the map favored the Dylan Z team, but they're not playing well. Playing very
Really?
risky on their Cav.
Why would you think it favors them? They have Bobber Kerwan, Falcon Hunter Cav versus Chowski, Wegness Cav.
I thought Firespark on the crossbows, and he is doing a lot, but I don't think the Cav is fighting in a good position for Firespark to be able to help them here. Falcon liking to go in and do risky plays is, I don't think, paying off for them right now, like it was on a Cherion.
Yeah, I think the open map, this is one of the oldest maps in the community. This is out in early access beta. Veteran players, I think, are having a bit of an advantage here.
Firespark, though, getting a kill on Matt. It's now a 2v3, and that's going to be Firespark going down to the Cav. Frog in a 1v3. He has clutched these before. It's possible. Getting stabs. There's no infantry left. It's all specialty classes here. An archer, dismounted Cav, and a mounted Cav. High skill players here. Chowski and Wegness, and then Glitterball as well. Glitterball going down though to Frog.
Oh, can we see Frog clutch this? I'll cry.
Shield broken. Oh my
no
gosh.
fucking way,
Oh my
dude.
gosh.
It's the Frog! Wegness first!
Oh my
Frog
god!
gets the win. Oh my god. A monumental comeback from legendary Frog, turning around a certain loss from other players into a victory. Maybe I was wrong. He is the undisputed best player in NA. An amazing showing.
Is that 7-3?
And that's why I moved him from China to the
I
US
think it's
of A.
7-4. I think it's 7-4. I think 6-3 was the last.
Oh, you're right.
Was it 6-2 or
mad.
6-3?
Was that a 4v1 or a 3v1?
There's at least
3v1, because it was 4v2, then Firespark killed one, and then Firespark died.
Yeah, that's nuts. Absolutely.
Yeah, the
ludicrous.
score is 7-4.
The
7-4
morale
is the
has
score.
to be horrible on the Empire team right now.
We'll see, though. They can bring it back for sure.
The amount of crash out from... Oh, man. I can only imagine their comms. Falcon Hunter getting pieced up. Taking this Cav fight is a bad idea, I think, for Falcon's team.
Yeah, I'd say Falcon is one of the best Cav duelists in North America. However, I don't think the Cav duo of Falcon Hunter and Bober is better than the Cav duo of Wegness Chowski. But Dylan Z killing Yoshi right off the bat really quickly. That's bad for the Empire side here. Your $1 million could be going down betting against your own top player here.
I did move him from China, you know. I do always, you know, I always talk about smack that Frog. So I can't do that. I argue with him about skirmish. Really, it's foolish. This guy was the best player to ever live. I don't know any other player, Demonicus, that could have clutched that 1v3.
I've hit some good clips on you.
What does that have to do with a 1v3? What are you talking?
I have a 1v3 clip against you and Crusader.
You're gonna have to send that to me because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I can stream it to you after. I don't have Discord Nitro.
Did you do it on Cav or did you do it on Inf?
Inf, it was a group fight.
Interesting. Demonicus, #1 Inf player, NA. Ooh. Good kick by Glenn.
I also have won a 1v4 against Vampy, Dylan Z, Canton, and Gamer Guru.
I'll believe it when I see
Though
it.
I was on Cav. I believe that clip is lost to time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man who cannot beat me in a duel.
I have
Talking to
beaten
smack
you. I
about
have killed you
1v4s.
in duels. I can show you a clip of me piecing up you and Crusader 5.
Yeah, 7-0 you.
You would not, but let's focus on the match here.
That's a good idea.
I believe that's why people tuned in, not to hear us, stroke our own egos. But the Vlandia team turning things around quickly. That first 2 rounds were so Empire-sided, but I think the turnaround from Frog really shattered the morale of the Empire's side.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad about that one. You see, Yoshi's only got 588 score right now. He needs to change something up today this round. Let's see.
That's still pretty
taking
good
the
score
spear.
for an Imp, though. Yeah, he hasn't done much in the last 2 rounds, especially that last round in particular. He did a lot that first round, though.
Butterball not too far off from
And the
Firespark's
score, yeah. Glitterball is a very good archer, very solid archer. I don't believe it's his fault that they're losing here, especially considering Firespark is such a better class on that
Well, it looks like Matt
Landia
crashed.
crossbow.
Matt crashed there. Just running into the wall and got hit in the back of the head.
That is unfortunate if that happens, but nothing we can do here about it, I believe.
Legendary Frog, 12, 5, and 3 is the top frag for his team playing infantry.
Let's see if the Vlandia side delays. The Empire side doesn't look like it's delaying.
They don't need a delay.
No, they're not required to, but it is a sportsmanlike thing to do. But looks like the Empire side are the ones who initiated the hostilities, so can't really blame the Vlandia side for fighting back here.
So at this point, after this, if Vlandia wins this round, it's going to be 6. Well, no, 9. They have 9 rounds. So they've officially won. Officially won.
Yes, the score is 9-4, so I do believe, yeah, they cannot win now at this point.
At
So
least,
I
rounds
say,
on?
yeah, I say we check out the third match then as soon as possible now. Try to get in on that one as early as possible.
All right, fair enough. Let's do that. I'm gonna go ahead and move over. What's the match?
Especially with that crash there. I don't think they're going to want to play out the rest of that match.
It looks like Yoshi just left, so I don't know.
Yeah. What server
What server do you know, Les?
Sure.
I'll
Well,
check
not 2 or
4
3
real
probably,
fast.
so that narrows it down to number 8.
I'm checking 4.
Skirmish League 2, Skirmish League 4 probably.
It's 4.
Well, who's on number 8 here?
8 might be a
E-Div.
different div
E-Div
team.
match.
Yep, so this is their match. It's not started yet.
This is the warm-up phase. This is probably before the second half.
I'm going to check on 8 and see what's going on over there.
You said they're number 4?
Yep, they're number 4.
Oh, okay. So this is another team that I rated rather highly. This is the Ambxdia team, however you want to pronounce his name, Ambdia, versus Madoc's team. Ambdia went big on 2 key picks being Hancock and Crusader 5. Crusader 5, one of the best inf in North America, and Hancock, in my opinion, the best archer in North America. 3-0, I believe, to Ambia's team, based off of what was said.
What team is Am on now?
Sorry, what?
What team is he playing on now? Am's team?
Empire's side. I believe they 3-0'd on the Sturgius side.
Okay, so that's interesting. Hancock must have been playing infantry.
Probably on native, yeah. But if you'll see the Madoc's team, it is very reliant on Sprickster. No disrespect to the other players, obviously, but Sprickster, I think, went for the most in the draft, and that left very little money, I think, for Madoc to work with, I believe, is what happened. So.
And who's got the advantage right now for score? Or scores?
I believe it's the current Empire side, the Team Ambdia. We have Swervy Vic on Cav. Chains, Crusader 5, Ambxdia on Inf with Hancock on the Empire Bow. And we have Madoc, Beastmaster Cav, and Crusader from the Future, Scrickster, and Thrax on Inf. Oh, and Vlad on Inf as well.
Oh god, this is a storm. Oh no.
Yes, remember when I said that this team is very Scrickster reliant? Yes.
Yeah, it's got the second best player, if not the best player in the world, or NA at least, on their team. But the rest of the lineup is questionable.
The rest of their lineup is made up of decent players, but not all stars.
Everyone in that team is a B tier player except for Scrickster. And Vlad's technically in C division, so
Vlad really shouldn't be in C division.
probably shouldn't be, but he is.
I think all of those players can play in the A division, but they shine in the B division, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Suppose have chains.
On the Empire team, you know, Swervy, Vic are both in B div, but it's only 2 B div players compared to 5. I think the only team I'm worried about is this Hancock team for my personal team. That is a scary combination.
No! Our banner has fallen!
Definitely not the strongest Cav duo from the Hancock team, but with Hancock and Archer, you know, anything is possible here.
Vic, Swervy, Cat, they are the weakest link.
But they have a super strong Inf line to play around, and an amazing Archer to play around, so I can tell you, when I have Hancock on my team as cavalry, I play much better knowing that he is behind me, guiding me, there in the rear, making sure that I'm safe, you know, that sort of thing. Because Hancock will land those clutch shots on the cavalry.
Like that right there. I don't think the Cav was expecting to get shot at that window right there, but he did.
To hell with you!
Obviously, Sturgis ran into this here, so it's likely to be what happens. Pretty fast, too. Wow. Is that 4-0 to Ambxdia's team?
Yeah, 4-0 to Ambxdia's team. Obviously, Empire going to win the first round. But the fact that they won the first round on Sturgia is quite impressive. I imagine it's to Ambxdia's team. I guess I didn't double check to clarify, but I would think it's to them, based off of them being the ones to say it.
Right. Les, are you on the server with the streamer tools? I'm curious.
No, we don't have the streaming tools. I think the only one on NA that has it is Crusader 5.
Oh, Les had him. He's been in matches with them.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah. But I was just curious. I don't think he's actually logged into the server. I was wondering who won that capital initially. They didn't trade all the way down, but I'm not sure who got the hits in.
Les might be AFK.
Yeah, it's likely. Scrickster gets out Chains pretty early. Is Chains on Cav right now, or is he on infantry?
Chains is on infantry.
He's been playing Cav recently.
Chains is a very solid infantry. I'd say Skirmish is Chains' weakest game mode for infantry, but he's still a very strong inf. He does not die easily. Very tough to kill. Plays very defensively, and he's just a solid player there in that regard. But, geez. Really getting wiped up, the Sturgia there, but that was their second lives, or their first lives, so it's actually still able to get something done. And Sturgia controlling all the flags currently, lots of morale, able to get good damage there. So Sturgia actually looking pretty well right now. Ambxdia, they might be able to get back 3 rounds.
All their imp players look pretty significantly hurt here. They're all covered in gore here.
Could be from the enemies though as well that they kill.
Partially,
sometimes that happens.
That does happen. Ooh, that was a pretty big pick there. Man,
Trickster getting a kill as mounted infantry? Or yeah, mounted infantry there.
Vampire here.
Yeah, good play from Sturgia here, and it is going to be a Sturgia clear again. That Sturgia faction bias showing.
The first round for Madoc's team.
Yeah, first round for Madoc's team, from what I'm aware. So they could win 2 more in a row here and be only 4-3 going into the second map. So.
Crusader confirmed.
Yeah, that's good. Getting confirmation there.
Crusader has the highly developed level of autism to track the rounds at all times, unlike me where I lose track constantly, even with snowboarding from my face.
Cav duel going on C, and it is going to be trade 1-for-1 there.
Yeah, Empire took a lot of hits there.
Vic going down and Beastmaster going down.
A little hit there. I think he might have. I don't know if he landed or not.
Beastmaster, though, if he gets 2 kills, is going to be able to get a 3rd spawn. He already has a 3rd spawn as Inf if he wants to.
We must reclaim that banner.
Vic waiting in the spawn patiently.
Lots of morale for Sturgia right now.
But yeah, full map control for Sturgia. Sturgia fighting down in the river with the against the Empire here. It's going to be a close fight, I believe, but I think Empire is going to win. Oh no, Thrax getting a really good kill on Ambxdia there. Thrax going down. Yeah, it's going to be an Empire victory in the first fight, but still possible here. Empire looks real low after that fight. And again, Sturgia has that morale pressure with the sectoral control. So, Beastmaster dying to Swervy there. Beastmaster choosing to spawn as the Peasant Life. Might be a good decision, trying to just get as many rounds as possible since this is a, you know, play 2 maps. So, just need to get all the rounds you can win as much as possible. So, Swervy though rearing, but that was his first life, so he's going to be able to come back here. Madoc actually out on his second Cav life. That's not good for the Sturgia side here. I'm sensing an Empire victory as Crusader's looking to reset probably on his first life.
Did you see how Madoc went down?
No, I did not, unfortunately.
I assume that like it's just way riskier to push on your second life as Cav when there's an archer around, especially if it's Hancock. But like it's just so oppressive. Like I almost always, I mean, I play kind of risky on Cav, but I almost always push in. But the one thing that'll always persuade me not to do that on my second life is if they have an archer. Like suddenly I don't want to come in my second life.
Yeah, there is a like almost a pressure on Cav where if you go out early, you have to come back in second life to try to get damage, which is what your class is good for. But things turning around here. Oh my gosh, it's an upset here. We got a quick turnaround from the Sturgia's side here being able to stay in against the Empire side here, but it is going to be, I believe, a cleanup here, unfortunately. Yeah. Madoc going out there really messed things up. I think Sturgia could have clutched that. Fortunately, not able to see how he went out there.
Right.
So
this is the second half of the first map. They still have quite a few rounds left, but it looks like a 5-1 in favor of Ambxdia's team. So that's Ambxdia, Hancock, Crusader, Forsaken Chains, Vic, Swervy versus on the other team we have Madoc's team, Beastmaster, Scrickster, Vlad, Madoc himself, Crusader from the future, and Thrax. Would have been funny if we had both Crusaders on one team, but didn't. Cav duel occurring on.
if anything, it's probably even worse there out in the open there. There's a direct line of fire from the bridge.
Yeah.
They took it. Wipe out.
Yikes. That goes down pretty early. We can't come back in safely.
And we have some light skirmishing on the B flag. But no push yet. And it looks like Sturgia are actually full pushing the archer. Scrickster gunning straight for Hancock. Another Sturgian imp getting on him. That's going to be Vlad, I believe, going for the kick missing. Hancock going in, getting pushed, trying to fight them off here. Cav trying to help out where they can. Hancock able to get away. He's going to start shooting again now. Push on to Hancock didn't go so successfully, but Empire going down here. It's going to be a 2v3. Scrickster going down, that was big, getting shot by Hancock. Hancock landing those close shots. He's so good at that. And is going to be able to clean that up for his team.
It's kind of odd to me that they have on infantry. I mean, I guess he is really solid infantry, but I don't know.
Getting a kill on the dismounted Madoc there. Getting him out. I'm not sure what that was.
It's looking bad for Sturgia here, potentially. Sturgia have any cav up? Looking like it's about to be a 6-1 if they lose this, Sturgia. Oof. Jeez. So, to win, if I'm not mistaken, Madoc would have to win 6 rounds in a row coming up here, correct?
Sorry, I was just dealing with some administrative decisions. Could you ask me that again?
To win, I think Madoc's team would have to win 6 in a row coming up here in the second map.
What was the score here?
6-1, I think, wasn't it? Because they just did a 3-1 in favor of Ambxdia's team.
Yeah, and Scrickster just left the server, so that might be them throwing in the towel on that one. That it would be rather unfortunate, but I do believe that's what's going on here. I wouldn't necessarily blame them, though, as I don't think they have a chance of winning.
I mean, it's not impossible. I would consider playing
It's
it
not
out.
impossible, but and I would like to see it play out, but it does look like they are going to not play the second map, which is unfortunate to see.
Another player left the server.
I think there were some misplays there from the Sturgia side Cav going out so early.
Do we still have time to hop into the second match? We jumped from number 1 to number 2 to number 3. What if number 2 still ongoing? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Let's see.
Oh, some internal team drama. Thrax not happy with the rest of his team leaving.
Ooh.
Understandable from him.
They did change that, but I don't see anyone on the Ambxdia, sorry. Madoc's side joining. Thorax also lefty. I think it's Joe. I think it's Jover. Let's take a quick peek
Yeah,
at
it's
their
gonna be
matches
Joe, I
still
believe.
ongoing.
Well, the decisions all are made. So from the first game of the A Division Super Ego Cup, we have what's it called? Lessler's team won against Matt the Lord's team. In the second game, Dylan Z's team won against Matthew's team. And in the third match, it was Ambxdia's team beating out Madoc / Cytese's team. So
What was the second one again? I don't recall the outcome, sorry.
Dylan Z / Tinted Skin against Matthew, which Dylan Z's team did win, I believe.
Yeah, I just checked server number 2, and it was like the same teams that had already finished their match, kind of maybe doing their own random game. I think 8 might be an Edith match. Let's just double check. I think it's probably it for all the Edith matches tonight. There was only 3 of them, so some close matches, obviously, especially for the first one. Second,
they might be playing out the set where Matthew crashed, actually, even though I believe they can't win. They might still play out this second half here, which is, I think, what's going on with the side swap. Because
that was server number 2?
yes, I'm asking them in the chat.
They took.
Okay, they are playing out the match. You'd love to see that.
Alright, bad with numbers. Let's try to remember what their scores were at. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna remember that, honestly.
Oh, okay, they're redoing that last round, I think, and giving them the I think. I'm not sure. Either way, we can still watch the finish of this game, I think.
Agnes goes for the early couch and misses it, takes a hit instead. Chowski. People are dropping their shields. Sweet is just throwing here, apparently. What is going on? Are they still warming up? This does not appear to be live. Alright, now it's live. Alright, so they're saying it was a 9-5, so I think that's right. We left when that was too late for them to flip it either way. Let's see how this goes. And Falcon. Falcon's going for an early pick, maybe? Almost gets couch. Jousting close range with Wegness, gets a hit in.
And fight going underway. Legendary Frog starting off with big hits. Spearing in the back. Same comp as earlier, but this time they are side swapped. And Empire handily wiping up the Vlandian forces here, but we are seeing here a good fight back here. Empire infantry still up.
second life or first life archer for Glitter?
For Glitter Ball, it would be second life currently that he's on.
He's getting pushed to spawn. Okay.
Yeah, but his inf is there behind, his second life inf are there behind him, so.
Oh. Lindsay tries to push.
Not much he can do here if he gets pushed out. There are no protected spawns on this map. Sweet getting a stab on Frog there in the second life, I believe. Not good. Sweet getting stabbed himself by the Cav.
Yoshi actually getting more score than Frog on infantry. Pretty impressive.
Chelsea coming in for a stab. Great movement from Firespark to dodge that stab. Chelsea dismounting Falcon, I believe. Yeah. Yoshi doing a lot of work with that spear. Dismounting a Cav with it. And it's looking like the Valendia side here, Matthew's team is going to clean up the remaining Empire forces here. Good initial push from the Empire team, but not able to capitalize and get enough damage on their second lives. Valendia able to bring it back.
I think that makes it a 9. There's a 10. I don't actually recall at this point.
I believe the match has already been set in stone that the Dylan Z team won, but it's all good. They can play it out. That's good to see. And more practice for these two teams. That there's still a whole rest of the tournament to play. So these two teams could very well be the finals teams, and that was my prediction going into this. So. Wegness, it looks like, trying to come in for an early couch.
Do you know if these brackets initially were hand-selected or was it random?
I think it was random, but this is the group stage. It's not a bracket, I believe. I believe they all play each other once.
Right.
So I believe the group stage was just randomly selected.
Good point.
Wegness there taking a bad stab attempt against Falcon, paying for it. That's going to be Bober getting kill on Chowski as well. Both Empire Cav doing exceptionally well right now. Firespark shooting in the back. Not able to shoot much currently as the Valendia Inf is capitulating here.
Yoshi gets a spam hit in on Frog, which is not easy to do. He's not a slow swinger.
No, but it is the Empire Axe, which if you do it correctly, you can always double swing your opponent in native with it because of its short size, fast swing speed, and
he was
the axe hitbox.
spamming from Valendia to the Empire.
Oh, that's true. Yes, risky play then from Yoshi there,
Who's
but
2v1, so he's
it
just
paid
trying to
off, you
range, I
know.
think.
So yeah. Yoshi getting a dismount though on Falcon, but he is first life and has the option of a Cav and recruit life or a heavy Cav life, and it looks like he opts for potentially going recruit here as he picks up a second heavy light or second light Cav life.
It's just that he doesn't like heavy Cav.
The Empire Heavy Cav is the worst Heavy Cav faction in native.
Really? Why not?
Yes, it has the slowest horse, it has the most tanky horse, but it also has the shortest and slowest lance. So,
What's the length on that? Do you recall? It's like 180 something.
I think it's 190,
Which is pretty
180,
bad by heavy
180 something high. Yeah, most of the lances are above 200. For example, like the long lance that the Sturgian Heavy Cav gets is very long. The lance that the Knight gets, which is the Valendian Heavy Cav, is quite long. Also does a lot of damage, especially with the perk that it gets as well. 15% additional move speed or bonus to that damage. And it's looking like Empire is going to clean up though on this being the 4th round, probably bringing it to 2-2.
Yeah, I think the 1-1 rounds were just warm-up rounds, weren't they? So this is actually about to be a 1-1 for this half.
You will bleed!
Are you on about that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the situation was leading up to that, so
Right, yeah, that's a point.
Chelsea doing really well in the 2v1 Pleasant Archer there, but obviously not enough. He is no legendary frog.
I think Chowski demanded to duel Frog, which he was not granted.
All right, and this will be the final round of whatever half this is. Now, something I've seen from a lot of the Cav players in this tournament is opting to go for the Ride Like the Wind perk, which gives the 50% extra move speed bonus damage from movement for really landing those fast Cav stabs. It does give you a slower, shorter, and less damaging spear base, but that 50% extra can make a lot, especially on stationary imp or the cavalry's horse. I wonder if that's it's most likely a, what's on the tip of my tongue, a deliberate choice to try to get more damage on the imp and things like that to make more impact, which is interesting to see. Not all players do that, but I've been seeing it more common in the ADIV tournament than I normally do. So
Yeah, interesting. I've hadn't noticed that, but it does kind of make sense.
taking that perk though does make you worse at cav dueling, having a reduced stat spear, but if you're able to full speed a horse, it'll do more damage, potentially one-shotting it, making that difference negligible, and getting more damage on the inf in general. So with that speed bonus, provided you have good movement going on, you will be doing more damage output than the Cavalry Lance perk on specifically on the Empire and Vlandia factions. Both have the option to take either the same better cavalry spear or the same western spear with the speed bonus. And we're getting some recruit play, most likely going triple life for the multiple spawn. And we end up with a 3v3. Dylan Z and Boulder both have the option to spawn as recruits again, and it's going to be turned into a 2v3. Yeah, Glitterball has a life here. Not likely to win the 1v3 as an infantry here, but especially considering two of them have lives, but anything's possible here. Let's see, can he clutch this? They all are very squishy classes, 2 dismounted cav and a recruit. A recruit coming in from behind, Glitterball doing his best to try to maintain spacing, get distance from those slower cav. But with the spear, it's going to be too tough, and Dylan Z's team will win again, 3-2 here. I assume that's going to be the end of the matches. Yeah, looks like it. Very close, though, and I'm interested to see if these teams do meet up in the finals, how it will play out then.
With so many matches, I almost don't even want to try to debrief on all of them. Obviously, probably the most incredible play I think we've seen today was the 1v3 with Frog, where those games
From an individual, definitely.
Yeah. Them to happen during a tournament is pretty crazy. I mean, those are kind of
Yeah.
not so. And say, okay, so we get a very
Ended up winning
perception
that
of the
game.
teams overall.
What I will say is I did think that the Wegness, the Matthew team with Wegness, Chowski, and Yoshi would have done better against the Dylan Z team, but I did actually have them winning those. I did have the Dylan Z team winning that matchup, but I thought it would be very close. But yeah, that's what I have to say. I did predict the Lessler team win against Matt the Lord's team. And yeah, so my predictions came true. They didn't play out exactly as I thought they would. They rarely ever do play out perfectly, as I think, but I don't think that's too much of a. I think the biggest upset was the. I think a lot of people thought the Matthew team would beat the Dylan Z team. But other than that, I think the other two matches played out how the vast majority of people expected they would, given the players on both teams.
Well, a 12-1 for Cites / Madoc versus Ambxdia. Cites getting one round. I mean, they didn't play second half, so it's effectively a 12-1, but it really was a 6-1. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I saw that coming, though. I think that Maddox's team relies too heavily on Scrixer to make the plays, and he might be able to do better against a team like Matt the Lord's team or a different team, but with someone like Hancock to play around, like it's really hard. And Scrixer kind of has to play Imp because Beastmaster is first and foremost a Cav player or an Archer player. Same with Madoc. So like I think that's the best version of that team that they could put together, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
I
was
just
gonna
don't
say.
think it was enough.
Because it's funny, Madoc would have had to have paid top dollar for Scrixter, who's being rated primarily on the basis of his cavalry ability, and then he has somebody like Beastmaster who really should be on Cav, and then he has himself who really should be on Cav. It's like, okay, well, what do you do about that? Like you said, having Beastmaster on Cav, having Madoc on Cav, and Scrixter on three, like it's probably the best combination of those three guys on that team. But like, what was the value of Scrixter that you're paying so much for him then?
So I think you have to also factor in the draft, right? Cites, I think, went for a respectable plan of trying to build a team around Scrixter. And while I think the players he got are like decent in a vacuum, I don't think he built a team that plays necessarily to Scrixter's strength again.
Right.
I think he should have maybe skipped out on Beastmaster. Probably should have been him and Scrixter Cav, and then build a really solid inf line to play around and survive, while Scrixter can make a ton of impact on Cav, getting tons of kills, tons of damage, that sort of thing. But it was unfortunate to see that it did end up like such a stomp. But I did unfortunately predict that happening. But hopefully they are able to work on some strategies and turn things around, because I don't think that team is completely terrible. I do think they have. I do think they have things going for them. I don't think they have any super weak players, but it is super reliant on Scrixter in a role on Inf, which isn't the most impactful in the game. So
Right. So I think, let's see, results is 9-7 for Les versus Matt the Lord, and then it was 12-1 for Ambxdia versus Madoc. So 12-1 in favor of Ambxdia's team. And then what was the end result for Matthew versus Tinted Skin? Also, like, does Matthew versus Dylan Z / Tinted, does Matthew have any other alias or any way to distinguish him from Matt the Lord? I feel like
people refer to him a lot as Matthew Byzantine because he led and like co-led the Byzantine faction for a very long time. Still kind of does, even though they rebranded to Gondor. That's what he's referred to. Most people call him Matthew because that's kind of how he goes. Because Matt always goes by Matt the Lord, and it's a little confusing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Matthew the Biz then. That's gonna be the moniker going forward. Or Matthew the Gondor. I don't know. I think Biz is simpler for me. Anyways,
Much more well known as as Byzantine because they were there for so long. But
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do we know the score for Matthew versus Dylan Z?
I'm calculating it right now. They didn't post the numbers, so we got 6, 9, 12. So 12 for Dylan Z, and then 1, 3, 4, 6. So 12-6 for Dylan Z's team against Matthew's team. And then 9-7 for the Matt the Lord and Les game going to Lessler. So at least the first match we did watch in full was the closest match. So probably the most entertaining overall to watch that one. Luckily, we did catch that whole one underway. So did the games play out how you expected them to?
I don't think I had nearly familiarity with the players as you did, so I think my impressions were a lot less refined. So, Frog's team kind of just on is probably. I had not realized, not that they're bad, overall, like the gold economy. There's like the poorly optimized team around screen, like abstract. I would expect for his team to do pretty well, but when he has to downplay relative to his possible impact on infantry, it does kind of make sense that he didn't have as much impact as we would normally expect. So yeah, it was 12-6 for Dylan Z versus Matt, according to Hancock just now. In the
I counted it up in the screenshot channel.
Gotcha. All right, so from those scoreboards, I'm curious if there's anything that stands out in those scores. So we have, let's see, top scores. If we just look at the Dylan Z match, top scores were Chowski 1200 score, Falcon Hunter 1600, Chowski 1700 score, Frog 2000 on infantry, and then Falcon Hunter 1700. We had Chowski 1300, Falcon Hunter 1500, Frog almost 1500, and then Falcon 1600, Glitterball 1200. What's kind of interesting is I don't know if Glitterball was playing Archer in all those maps or not, but his score was not.
No, but he was on the Vlandia side, which he is a very strong archer. Especially, like we said, keep bringing up that Vlandian crossbow, putting in work.
Right.
And it did, but unfortunately his team wasn't able to stay up around him, so unfortunate. And then here we have the screens from the Team Lesser here. We have Les with just over 1100 score, Eileen with almost 1100 score, even No Panda getting 1000 score. Then we have Alejandro with 1000 score, Afnal with 833, Atsamba with 692. Yeah, Atsamba being rusty, I think, hurt them a lot through that game. But we have Atsamba with 1300 score on the Sturgia, 1100 score from Alejandro.
What was the price for Atsamba? Do you recall, roughly?
I believe he went for. So Atsamba was unique. I think he went for 100k to Lessler's team. But Les had an abundance of cavalry, and Matt the Lord didn't have enough. So they were the only trade after the draft. It was Atsamba for Ducky and Albino Jaguar.
Oh, two trades for one.
Yeah. Well, Matt the Lord didn't spend enough of his money on like super strong players, so he has the biggest roster, and he kind of needed to get rid of a couple players. And on his team, those players weren't likely to play anyways, whereas that Samba was. So the trade made sense for both of them in that respect. But yeah, Les, I think, needed the trade kind of more because he really needed that fourth inf pick, which he did pick up in Ducky, and that was Ducky is just a solid addition to an inf line. Not the crazy score farmer, but he is solid. He will apply pressure, slasher stall, good term for it, and yeah, so.
So random thought here, but kind of looking
Interesting.
through the scoreboards
Yep.
for the highest infantry scores, and not a surprise, by far and away, just crazy how big of a difference that is that Legendary Frog was the highest, across any set that we have screenshots of. He had 2,084 skills, sorry, 2,084 score, 15 kills, 6 deaths, 11 assists. That was the 3-2 set, 3 in his favor on a carry-on. And I mean, the closest to that, Crusader 5 got 1,255 score versus, what was it, Madoc's team, which was a pretty weak infantry team. I think you could argue that, so like, the infantry that Crusader 5 was fighting, and Crusader 5 is like known as a really good infantry player. And
Yes.
he was fighting players who, like, comparatively, I would say, not as good as who Frog was fighting, I want to say.
Yeah,
Like,
so what I'll say about Legendary Frog is he's a very offensive player. He's probably the most offensive infantry, but that also leads to him dying more often. Crusader 5 is a much more solid infantry that's going to live, on average, much longer than Frog would, because he's not taking as many risks, but therefore he doesn't get as much score, if that makes sense.
so I think maybe
so-
Frog is more the domino effect then.
I think so, yes. Like once if Frog isn't able to be stopped, he will just destroy your whole inf line. But if you punish him for his more risky play, then you can keep him in line more, and he'll put him on the back foot.
Right. Yeah, and so I think the best infantry scorers in that Crusader 5 had that round where he popped off to almost 1,260. And then it actually was, Chowski was Cav there, so let's see who else is doing great on infantry. I think No Panic got 1K score.
Yeah, in my opinion, any infantry in this who is getting more than 200 score per round did exceptionally.
Right.
Did really excellently on inf, especially in a division like this.
Yeah, it's not easy with Cav and Archer trying to farm all the score on the map. So.
Yep.
Okay, so in the group stage, these teams still have to fight every other team. So I think,
So
is that 2 more sets then? 2 more different...
yes, it'd be two more match weeks.
Right. And I think that we'll say, like you said, I think Frog's team versus Matt the business team, Matthew the business team, they're pretty strongly favored. And these are really strong teams with crazy scores on the scoreboard from Chowski and Frog and Falcon Hunter. So I would not be surprised if they do the best. And Demonicus, I think you know the rules reasonably well since you posted them. So the way that it works, if I'm not mistaken,
there are slight adjustments since this is the draft Super Ego League.
Right.
Go on.
That and ties over, kind of put in the bracket.
Yes, I'm not sure if all the teams are advancing and if it's like a seeded thing where we'll have a semifinal and a final, or if it's only the top 2 teams, or if it's like the top 4 teams that go forward. It is a thing based off of wins and losses. So teams with the most wins will obviously be at the top and will go ahead. I'd have to double check the rules that FMGK posted for the rules here. I'm not sure if it's going to be into I'm not seeing them here. We can confirm that at a later time, but
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be the top 4 or the top 2 teams advancing to a final. I don't see a situation where all 6 go through. That wouldn't make much sense. But
All right, I have a derailment question. Did you know
Yep.
there's actually a pig in the lighthouse on the lighthouse map?
no, I had no idea.
It's at the top, the very tallest tower. If you look at the top between the 2 crenellations or whatever.
I'll have to look out for it the next time I spawn on that map.
it's kind of hard to see if you're actually alive. You'll have to get into the spectator view. I was just kind of
Yeah, and spectator. Next time I get into a match with that map, I'll take a look.
I don't think that there's nearly as many. I think the world maps probably don't have similar Easter eggs, although I haven't had enough time to follow them over. So, anyways, concluding thoughts here. Thank you to the players and last day for hosting all the servers and putting this all together, and also thank you to like FMGK for helping to define the teams and work things through. I'm glad we're able to have. I don't know if we even call this ADIV, but we had these players who kind of initially were a little bit of a crash out, some kerfuffle about some drama. I'm glad that something was figured out that allowed people to still have a match series. Good. That being said, I'm looking forward to streaming the subsequent week matches. And Daemonicus, any closing thoughts here?
No, I think the matches were for the most part good today, and I was happy to see them, and happy to commentate with you. That's all.
All right, thanks everyone. Good night.